All right, guys, this is what we're doing. Below is a link. You can hit that for a question session. What we're going to do starting next week is have questions, not a sales call, talking about what you want to learn on how to make this Wi-Fi bread, internet money. Go below, hit this link, and we can get into that. All right, so who is going to do well in this next recession that I think will either happen the end of this year or will happen the beginning of 2024? And part of me wants to think and talk about the group of people who will be just fine. I put up a video talking about, I ran into an owner of a trucking company and how he was doing Lyft. And I saw a lot of people in there talking about, specialized with tankers, I'm still eating. And that is primarily the point that I want to make. Even though Yellow Freight, which was a large trucking line, filed bankruptcy, there's still people who are making money. Even though the overall trucking market is kind of sad. There's a guy here on YouTube, I forget his name, Jose, I believe, look up his video, how a CDL changed my life. He delivers food. And delivering food, he makes $120,000 a year with his CDL. This video is on YouTube. So one of the things that you're going to have to do is get very, very strategic. You cannot just be out here hoping, like with DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, everyone's talking about the pay has gone down. And these are the people who are using these income strategies full time. They're not part-timers, they're full-timers. And this is how they notice when the pay switches and every dial on turns, they know because they're into it full time. There's a number of people who were doing DoorDash full time. There was a number of people who were doing Uber full time. There's a number of people doing Lyft full time. There's a number of people doing Instacart full time. And here is the issue. When you are dependent upon someone else to butter your bread, sometimes you just don't get as much butter on that bread as you would like. And this is one of the things that's happening, because let's go ahead and talk about what set the stage. And my primary beliefs is the help we got from the government during the pandemic, which set the status up for where we are today. And this has created a very interesting situation. Once again, we had crazy inflation. Inflation was 10%, now it's like 3.6, 3.2%, and it's coming down, and the goal is to get inflation to 2%. So we're getting there. But let's talk about what has happened to people. And this kind of goes back to the pandemic. I believe the pandemic made people lazy. And there was a lot of easy money in the economy during the pandemic. Easy money, a ton of easy money, just easy money. And one of the things that happened with this easy money is it took away people's initiative. And with people doing remote work, and I've had a lot of comments talking about remote work. Predominantly most people who do most for work are project engineers or computer programmers and stuff. And this wasn't the case during the pandemic. I had a friend who lost her mind because she had called for some customer service help, and the lady's baby was screaming in the background and the dog was barking because she was working it from home with her baby in tow and her dog underneath. So with this, we got this serious issue where people want to do what is comfortable for them. I've seen it many times. If they want me to come back to the office, I will quit. I will take less money to continue to be working remote. See it all over the place. We have this whole notion of folks who really don't want to work hard. And I'm going to be talking about that at length in a minute. They don't want to work hard. They don't want to set anything up. So This group of people will be deeply impacted by the recession. They'll be deeply impacted by pricing. They will be deeply impacted by all these things that are happening. So one of the things that is going to really hit hard is the people who, Brandon, that's his name. I can see his face. He's a fitness person, Brandon. And Brandon was talking about, before he got money, before he built up his internet business, he would get 3, 4, 5 jobs. Now, this is the group of people, and this gets to working hard. This is the group of people that's going to make it in the next recession. And this is the group of people who already have 2 or 3 jobs. And I put this up there. If you're doing the gig economy, you got to go hard. You cannot I'm going to go out after dinner and I'm going to hit it for 3 hours. That kind of sporadic being on the app is not going to make you $1,500 to $2,000 a week. It's just not. You got to go hard. You got to have 10, 12-hour days. And I know a lot of people's like, hey, you shouldn't tell people to work like that because that's wear and tear on your car. Well, here's the thing. You got to specialize. You've got to be specialized to make money in hard times. Or you have to be working on something, or you have to build something, you have to create something. 2009 was the recession caused by rapid foreclosures in the housing market, because back then, if you were breathing, 2008, 2007, 2006, 2005, if you were literally just breathing, you could get a mortgage. You can get a mortgage for virtually anything. So what this did is create a bunch of bad paper on the books. So there was a lot of people who were going their foreclosure, and the foreclosure crisis was so deep and intense that you had people who had been foreclosed on living in a house for 2 and 3 years after the foreclosure because it took that long to get around to getting them out. So in my mind, that time period was worse than what we're dealing with now. Much worse, because people were suffering serious economic harm. I was dating a girl who was like, who she was an attorney and she could easily pay her mortgage, but she's like, but my house is worth so much less. And we had a little conversation. I said, just keep paying your mortgage. At some point in the future, your house is going to bounce back. And recently her house did bounce back during, she was able to get way more money out of her house than what she put in. But the whole thing is, for the people who are going to do well are the people who are going to work. And, I put out another video that I wish I knew how to build websites. Let me be really clear. I have built dozens of websites. I really wish I knew how to make a super slick, super tight website. That's what I should have said, because I have no clue to how many websites I have made. I have no clue. I made Urban Pack Rat, my blog, which got up to, during its height, 350,000 views a month, of visitors a month. I made that myself. But these newer websites, these more interactive websites, these designers, these slick websites, that's what I really wish I had the skills to make, which I may look into it, because with AI and all the things that are happening, this is opening up a lot of doors, opening up a ton of doors. But the group of people that will make it, and I'm not talking about just make it, because here's something else. Here's a news flash. In this next recession, there will be people who will become rich. During the Great Depression, there was something called a pulp fiction writer. And these were people who wrote these books that they sold for a nickel. And these guys became multi-millionaires selling books for a nickel. So with one of the things that you have to look at, and one of the things that you have to understand, is it's all about your mindset. If you have it in your mind that you're going to work hard, you're going to do the things you need to do, you're going to win in this economy, you will win. If you have it in your mind that there's a group of secret billionaires in a room sitting around discussing how they are going to keep you poor, you will be poor. As far as I know, I don't think there's a group of billionaires that even know my name. They have no clue to who I am. They have no clue. And I'll give you an example. Someone I'm working with in the future, we're having a conversation, and he recommended someone to me that I had never heard of, and this person is making millions of dollars online. See, there's so much possibility if you are willing to do the work. Now, this is where we get into it. I've opened up the phone lines. I'm doing consults and stuff. I'm getting ready to do a lot of in-depth exposure phone calls with a lot of people. These are not sales calls. These are discussions about what you would want to do to make money online. And we'll be talking, just to kind of get some insights on this. With opening up the phone lines, I'm talking to people and I'm beginning to develop a new understanding that the average person doesn't have a clue to what they need to do in terms of positioning themselves to make money online. They just don't. They don't have a clue. Because I was talking to someone and he mentioned a few names, and he felt that his niche was their niche. And I knew instantly that wasn't their niche. What he was trying to do was something very different. I'm going to keep his business private. But one of the things that you have to understand is if you create content for a well-established niche, even if the niche is flooded, if there's tons of people in it, you have a greater opportunity of making a lot of money. Because why? There's the niche. It's there. And in that niche, in the inroads of the niche, are a bunch of people who need services, or who want services, or who will pay for services. And when I kind of go back and look at what I did 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, it's surprising I did as well, because I wasn't operating in the niche. At that time, the storage auction niche didn't exist. After I opened it up and then other people got into it, it started to really open up, really open up. With the storage auction niche opening up, which personally I think it's kind of close. Once again, I don't know what's going on with storage auctions in 2023. I have no clue. But I do know that the way that they used to do it left a lot of opportunity for people to really do well financially, really do well financially. So this group of people who are going to do well in the next recession are going to be specialized, they're going to operate in a niche, and they're going to work hard. Now, when I say work hard, what do I mean by working hard? These folks, there's a guy, I'm not mentioning any names. His claim is he writes for 2 hours a day. And I'm looking at everything he's got going on. There is no way that he's getting everything he's got going on done in 2 hours a day. There's no way. There's too many layers. There's too much going on. I would assume he has a team. And when you have a team, there's the work you do, and there's the additional work of managing the team. And managing a team can be a lot. It can be a lot. When I had 31 cars in my car rental business, that became a full-time job, just managing the oil changes, the insurance claims, the damage, the questions. It was a full-time job. And it was only 31 cars. It wasn't like 100 or 200 or 300 or 400. It was, if I had 100 cars, I would have had to probably hire 2 assistants, 2 people. So one of the things that you have to understand is what is work, how to apply the work, and how to set yourself up for work. Because when you set yourself up appropriately for work, you open the doors for more success for you and your family. Because, like I said, with the trucking thing, right now, everyone knows that large trucking lines are shutting down. They have too much overage, they have too much debt, they have too many things going on. Yet there's a number of smaller, specialized, streamlined truckers who are doing quite well in this same economy, but they're doing something different. Like the guy I believe his name is Jose. He delivers food, $120,000 a year as an employee, not an owner operator, but as an employee of this company that delivers food. And when you think about it, the delivery of food is a consistent thing. We're never going to get to the point where they're going to stop delivering food to grocery stores. Just not going to happen. So in many ways, delivering of food to grocery stores is recession proof, because good times, you got to deliver food to the grocery stores. Bad times, you got to deliver food to the grocery stores. So this isn't something that's going to just disappear. And, once again, there's the companies that specialize in this, and then people were talking with tankers. Another something is the tankers that deliver the gas to the gas stations. That's never going to stop. Good times, we got to deliver the gas to the gas station. Bad times, we got to deliver the gas to the gas station. It's just not going to stop. Now, the amount of gas that the gas stations may sell may slow down, but they're never going to stop receiving shipments of gas. So one of the things you want to do is get into a specialized market and really, really own what you're doing and actually have a greater understanding of what you're doing, because this group of people who are operating in these niches, and like I said, there will be people in the next recession, 100% guaranteed, who will become wealthy, will become rich during the next recession, because they're going to position themselves into it. So one of the things that you have to do, and this is something I'm seeing, a lot of YouTubers are starting to get really, really creative. There's a guy, I'm not mentioning his name, but his channel is about the economy, and he has a credit repair business. And with credit repair, it's very much under the eyes of the law, because essentially if you run a credit repair company, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fix people's credit, and once it's fixed, then they pay you. They don't pay you up front. So running a credit repair business to people who have bad credit, meaning they don't pay their bills and you got to do the work. I just have a feeling that you could go ahead and fix someone's credit, get it all straight, and they still won't pay you. Just a feeling, because of the audience that you're dealing with. But once again, I don't know how they've got it worked out. I don't know how that they do it, because I have not entered into his sphere of influence with that. But I think that's really a good ideal to have a channel and to sell something. I think that's a really, really good idea. So one of the things that we really need to look at is, what are you doing to make money? And this is where people, I think, get the wrong ideal, that they are just out here doing things in a method or a manner. Because the thing is, you got to remove time from the equation. You got to get rid of that, because this is where people mess up. They want to get wealthy, riches, money, and they want to do it, and this is the words they use, they want to be most efficient as possible. Take time out of the equation. If you need to work 12 hours a day to get it done, you work 12 hours a day. You need to work 14 hours a day to get it done, you work 14 hours a day. Just remove time from your whole game plan, and it's a big change in what you can get done, what you can create, what you can build, and what you can do, as long as you remove time from the situation. Now, as long as you keep leaving time on the table, that you got to get it done in an hour and all that. Once again, with this guy, it's I only write 2 hours a day, and there's no way. His business is too big. It's making too much money for him to do this in 2 hours a day. I would say this guy has probably at a minimum 2 people working with him. At a minimum. He may have more. Because once you start to scale up and get things going, there's a lot to it. So for the folks who are going to do well in this next recession, they're going to be hardworking, they're going to be specialized, and they're going to position themselves in the right spots for them to be successful. And this is something that you will see. This is something that you will actually see happen in this new economy, because the new economy is the real economy. The new economy is the economy without the pandemic help and the government assistance. We're dealing with the raw, rugged, naked economy. We're dealing with it from a very large position, and this is one of the things that you have to be aware of. So that's the group of people who are going to do well in the new economy.